What's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is the 7th of January. It is not August, like I said last night, which I have no clue why I said that. But I'll tell you what. I have got a serious lineup right now. I already gave you a little bit of a flavor of what was coming. We've got Brandon the Big Sib in the shotgun position. We have Ark from Destiny's Lab. You just heard his music. You chatted with him in the chat. And we have Nicholson 1968. That's him right there for real. So this is going to be ugly in a good way. And just for those people that don't know, when we were talking about Netanyahu getting rushed to a bomb shelter the other day, and both of us said, well, it's coming. It didn't take long because apparently Iran has shot missiles at U.S. bases in Iraq. So gas prices will double and we're going to war. Other than that, let's start at the bottom. Nicholson, what is up, brother?
Just staying busy, doing my regular job that I do during the week. But Ark coming on tonight. He's asked me to do a couple of videos to some of his tunes, which I am honored to do. And I've got some, my project that I'm finishing up, Back to Human, which I'm trying to get it past YouTube, which is very hard nowadays. So so just trying to edit it so that I can get it on YouTube, and then I may have a longer version on my website that's unedited for YouTube. So that's kind of what I've been up to. So appreciate you having me on.
No worries, brother. I'm stoked that you actually made time. Ark, what's up, brother? It's been a minute.
What's up, fellas? Thank you for having me on, bro. Yeah, just been busy trying to finally get this new album wrapped up. We've had obstacle after obstacle, in our way, from personal things to business stuff, but all in God's timing. So I never put a time on anything until I know for sure it's going to be out. So we should be able to actually a release date here soon for our new album, Shift Your Paradigm. Recently on January 1st, just released our new remix for Unseen Zones. Unseen Zones 2020 remix is available as a free download right now at our website, destinylab.com. And yeah, man, just hard at it.
Stoked. I don't know how you guys pull it off, because I put up both of your videos and instantly got a copyright strike. Of course, it was for Nicholson's, but I don't care. The channel's demonetized. What else are they going to do? Seriously.
Yeah.
And finally, at the top, like promised last night, Big Sib is sitting on top. We look like the Brady Bunch, don't we? Look at this. Isn't this crazy?
Yeah.
Everybody's here. Brandon, what do you think about this? This is heavy hitters, kid.
Yeah, and for me personally, I've said this a million times. Nicholson is one of the first. I remember being subscribed to Nicholson when he had less than 10,000 subscribers, and I actually thought the guy was bonkers when I first subscribed.
You weren't the only one.
Like, what is dude talking about? But something drew me there anyway, and it kept me. And it's what I try to explain to people all the time. You have to. It takes time to break through the cognitive dissonance and the layers of indoctrination. And of course, Robophobia and Unseen Zones from Ark is one of the. I very rarely listen to music. But I do get down with those songs and Ark's music, and I'm just blessed to be here and blessed to be on this live stream. So thank you, Richie.
You earned it, brother. Without a doubt, you've earned it. Nicholson, have you had a chance to listen to Brandon, any of his? I mean, he's inflammatory. He goes right at the jugular. They put him right on an extreme hate speech website right away. Boom. So he beat us.
I will just tell you this. I've watched, I've kind of snuck in on some of your live streams. I try to not go in and cause too much commotion, because I just like to sit back and listen. And there's a lot of good points that he hits on. There was one thing he said last night that's very, very important, that not everybody is at the same level of understanding, and you need to be respectful of that. I've always said on my channel, to get from A to D, you have to understand B and C. And some people are at C, some are at B. Just like some newbie coming onto my channel, transhumanism. They're like, they don't understand it. Now, if you've been there for a while, then you understand transhumanism. So by him stating that, I have much respect for him of understanding, respect for your other fellow Christian brothers of where you're at in understanding. It's not that one is dumber or more stupid than the other. It's just we're all kind of waking up at different levels. And what we spoke about off the chat before we came in is we all have different pieces of the puzzle of have different gifts. Because I don't know everything. I'm learning, growing every day, and keep growing and listening. And there's a lot of things that you guys have said over the last 2 weeks on your live streams that have helped me if I'm working on something behind the scenes. So I really appreciate that.
Indeed. The day any one of us claims to know everything, we need to pull the plug on the microphone and walk away. I'm just an asshole with a laptop, and a lot of people send me information, and once in a while I hit a single or a double, and that's it. That's all you can ask for. So
that's it. You know, and one of the best things to do is admit when you're wrong and realign your thinking to align with the truth. And the truth isn't downloaded in one mega download. It's not how it happens. The truth comes in time, over time. And when you come to that knowledge of the truth, then you have to look in the mirror and change your perception of reality to fit the truth. And it's a journey, man. It really is, and it's a wonderful journey too. Once you let go of your own ego, your own pride, and your own will, and just put the will of the Father as first and foremost in your life, and then things start really happening for us.
hey, check your mic, brother. You just got a little weird. Your voice did. I can still hear you, but you sound odd.
Who, me?
Yeah. There it is. There, you're good right there. Real quick. Just let me address this comment. This dude that I don't know, and I watch the comment section while we're live streaming, so you can put the people up there and they love it and blah 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 and whatever. Hello, war's about to start, and y'all are yammering. Well, here's the deal. What you're saying directly bounces back to what they were just talking about, how some people that are different levels of waking up. Last week, when Netanyahu was rushed to a bomb shelter in Israel, Brandon and I said, well, won't be long now. Here it comes. That was 6 days ago, and here it is. So we're not surprised. This is how Iran's been on the list forever. Anybody in the seat of authority in Iran right now did not shoot missiles at anybody. I ain't buying it. Every single solitary war starts exactly like this with some claim that can't be verified. We're going to war. Gas is going to double. It works out for their global warming. It works out for Agenda 21. And a bunch of poor people will get killed. What's better than that? Welcome to the New World Order, man. So I'm not like, oh my goodness, we're going to war. We kind of knew it was coming. Iran's been on the list a long time. Ark, you want to weigh in on that?
Well, nothing is new under the sun. I remember when I was a kid, they had that song, bomb, 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 Iran. Bomb. I mean, This has been going on for how many years? Forever. It's like there's just about time. Okay,
my uncle
let's rehash all this stuff.
My uncle sang that right on this patio when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was a kid a long time. This has been in the works forever. So
yeah, and it's amazing how short people's attention spans are, and because we are so heavily inundated with the news cycle, what happens is they can't remember yesterday. Well, they can't remember that we are the ones who reseated the power in Iran. So is that my mic doing that?
No, you're good right now, man. You're good.
And so this guy right here, I want to make a comment on 𝗪𝗵𝘁, right? He's like, bomb or fine. Well, let me enlighten you to the truth. Since 1933, the living men and women that are living here in the United States were deemed enemies of the state. And in fact, this is provable fact why the chemtrailing, fluoride, and everything else, the war on life has been going, and it's even signified in the war on terror, the war on earth, the war on living. These things, it's much bigger than just Iran. This is another stage play. This is the hidden hand saying, look over here. And while they're doing that, they're going to fulfill more of their agenda as we push towards Agenda 2021. and all these things. So you sitting there worried about a couple bombs dropping, and that's just your mainstream news telling you that we have no clue whether it's real or not.
At all. But I know the consequences will be.
Oh yeah, the consequences are always real.
So check this out. In honor of having Nick on here, because it's been a long time since Nicholson surfaced, you know, and I know you're busy. I know you guys are. We got two artists down the bottoms. The two guys in the top squares, they're just big mouths that quack all the time. These guys down here actually make art. That I put the video up earlier. I put up my two favorite songs. Unseen Zones is just sick. It's just sick. And of course they won't let you use it. So he had to remix it, and it's just as amazing. And then the sound of silence is just off the hook. And of course you get a copyright strike for that because YouTube doesn't like this stuff. But check this out. For the older people that are like, why is Richie putting rap on there? Why is he putting that kind of music? God doesn't like that. Well, listen to this. It's all biblical. It's all prophecy. And it's all super duper accurate. But if you have people in your family you're trying to wake up, people that listen to rap, etc., this is the perfect segue. It's the perfect segue. That's why I left links. So that video, hopefully YouTube will leave it up. And if it doesn't, I'll just put it up again because at this point, what's the difference?
Yeah.
So, Nick, have you got a chance to hear Jordy Rose's last, what was the name of it? He was at Idea City 2019.
Briefly. I heard, yeah.
Well, let me give you the rundown just real quick, and I want to hear what you think about this. Where he went up there, and first of all, since last time we saw him, which was only a couple of years ago, you can tell that he's messing with evil entities because he looks terrible. You can see it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, every single solitary time he brings up H.P. Lovecraft for whatever reason, every single solitary time, he's always surrounded with symbolism. He's always wearing an Aurora Boreas.
Yep, exactly.
He said that he's done with D-Wave. He did what he mission accomplished. And Ark, you're freaking out, man.
I know. I'm looking like some 1980s VHS video here.
Jump back in.
It's the Unseen Zones.
You got to blow the disc and put it back in.
Blow the disc and put it back
floppy.
in.
It's a floppy disc.
Let me blow on it.
All right. So do what you got to do or whatever. It's all good. We can still hear you, so it's not a problem.
Yeah.
He said that he was done with D-Wave and he was going to spend all his time, he was going to focus all his time at Kindred working on robots, AI-powered robots that would be absolutely indistinguishable from people. Indistinguishable from people. Dude, that's new.
My thoughts on that, I did hear that. I was thinking you were thinking of something else, but I did hear that. I'm going to go down this road, and as people that know me, I tell you what excites me about Scripture. Scripture can be multi-layered. It can be about today, yesterday, future. I mean, it's that amazing when you really get into it. Big Sib can probably attest to that. But the parable of the wheat and the tares, that they're indistinguishable. From the outside, they look alike, but on the inside, they're not alike. Now, I know there's double meanings to that, but look where the future is going with what he's talking about with humanoids, that you will not be able to tell if they're humanoid or not in the future.
Indistinguishable was the word he used more than twice. Go ahead.
So I'm just saying, there's that parable of the wheat and the tares. Is it multi-layered, Sib? Maybe
I would, I'd go maybe to them, because those without life, those without soul, that may be indistinguishable to them. But you and I know, and everybody else out there that knows, that someone that's born again, and that's the not spiritually dead anymore. And you look into their eyes, you see it. Yeah, that's something that you're not going to ever be able to distinguish from those things that come from information and that has no life. It can't have life. It's just a creation of man, and they'll never be able to replicate the windows to the soul. And
Yep.
What about making these things as vessels?
Yeah, they made very.
I mean, I've been positive that D-Wave is. I mean, I think all of us basically agreed on this at one time or another. D-Wave is just 24/7 satanic ritual internet to the other side where they're getting information, which is why everything is sped up so expert. Dude, since last time we sat in a live stream, Nick, we were complaining back then how fast it was. Look at it now.
Right. That's the video that I'm working on now, Back to Human. I've always told you what the one game is. The one game is the battle for your soul, for you. In this video, I'm kind of explaining how are they going to get to that end game of how are they going to use transhumanism? How are they going to get there? That's kind of what I'm working on. And it's moving so fast. It is just, trying to get it all in this video and use scripture. And also the thing I'm going to do here too is I'm just not talking to fellow Christians. I'm talking to those who do not believe in Jesus Christ, those who do not believe in unseen zones, who do not believe that. I'm trying to mix that in to show them, take that out of here. Basically what I'm saying is, look, whether you believe in Jesus Christ or you're not a religious person or you're not a spiritual person, technology can be hacked, period. You see what I'm saying? That's where man is going, merging with machine, and it can be hacked, it can be tampered, it can be controlled. And I'm trying to get that anger out of the way of, I don't want to listen to Jesus Christ stuff and religion. I kind of want to say, hey, here, use your common sense kind of thing. But I'm backing it up with here's where the scripture is addressing it. You think the biblical stuff is just about stories about old men back in the day. It's not. It is, but it's also prophecy and other things. And Big Sib and Richie from Boston, everybody on this panel knows that. And that's why I'm here, because I respect that. You understand that. So
believe it or not, for all the Christians that just went, he's not gonna focus directly on Christians. I think you're right, because Brandon talks about this all the time. We've seen this for a decade, man. The predictive programming, they've made it so difficult for you to even approach anybody. And if you say Heavenly Father, God, Jesus, Yahushua, anything right off the bat, 9 out of 10 times the wall goes up. Boom, I'm not listening to anything you have to say. Right. So you might be right, brother. You might be right.
Yeah. And there's different methods and goals obtainable. So you've got a goal that you're looking to obtain and you've thought about it, and I just want to comment on your previous comment, Nicholson, about, the transhumanism, right? And I always see this, and especially within the Kabbalistic doctrine and everything else, because the trans, if we break that word down, a trans is to the other side. It means to cross over. And so anything you put into it, a transhumanism, a transgender or whatever, it's all fits into their idea of John chapter 10, which is trying to find another way up. They're trying to go around the door, and they want to come up another way, and they want to merge everything to obtain that eternal life and eat from the tree of life. And that's what it's really all about. And once you can see this is the goal, we can actually start defending ourselves from it.
Yeah.
Hey, Ark, what do you think, brother? Because I can't see you, so I keep forgetting. Are you good?
No, I'm here. Yep, I'm here. I don't know what's wrong with my picture, but yeah, I totally in agreement. I mean, I think more and more people are seeing this stuff come to fruition and be like right out in the open, to where you can't ignore it, whether you're a Christian or not. You're seeing a lot of people, non-Christian, recognizing all these same things, but they're not able to put the pieces of the puzzle together properly because they don't have the foundation of the Word of God. So it's so sad because you see all these people that are wanting to know the truth, they're getting bits and pieces. But like you said, we respect people. They're on different parts of the journey. Everybody's at a different point, and we've got to go through those stumbling blocks. We've got to go through those hardships sometimes to get to the point where we have a fuller understanding. So and that's where my music, there's enough Christian music out there made my music is for people like on the fence and non-Christian people as well, you know, because that's my whole goal, is to wake people up. And, you know, it's the time is now, because the externalization of the hierarchy is right in front of us.
Oh,
It's
man.
unbelievably they don't even care. They don't even care. I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's, the four of us have never been in a room before where that topic has come up. They don't care. They're straight up. Nichols said 90,000 Hasidic Jews all got into the MetLife.
Yeah,
unbelievable. The Talmud, and nobody thought that was a bad thing. Unbelievable.
Well, the crazier they can make it, the more they can get away with it. I mean, that's like, you know, it's like child sacrifice. The way they get away with it is because no one wants to investigate something so sick and go that deep down into the rabbit hole. And some of this stuff goes so deep that people are afraid to investigate, and you really shouldn't investigate it unless you have the full armor of God covering you. So, you know, that's the quandary a lot of times.
Yeah, and I wanna bring up something that everybody identify with, is how the truth is repulsive to the masses, and when you bring the truth to them, one of the most pre-programmed responses is, "Hey man, don't bring that negative stuff into my life, because they don't want you messing up their little bubble, their little illusion that they're living in, and it just don't, please. Hey, don't bring that in here. I'm happy." And it's really the ego and pride of oneself that they can't look outside of themselves and see reality. It really is a shame where we are today, and where life isn't thought to be precious.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, just for the people that are just jumping in right now, we already went over Iran and what we thought about that. And to be perfectly honest, we pretty much knew this was coming last week. So don't believe the hype. Iran's been on the list since I was a kid. General Wesley Clark was not lying when he said Iran is on the list. So if you happen to drive a really old Land Cruiser, you better stock up on gas now, because it's the first thing they're going to hit us with. First thing.
And I want to put this out there for anybody that doesn't think, that believes the half truth of Iran doesn't have a central bank, and that is a partial truth. What Iran does do is borrow money from the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund out of Switzerland, which is still a controlled part of the central banking scheme. They just don't have a Federal Reserve inside of Iran. And make no mistake, the whole world wonders after the beast, and all systems of men are controlled by that beast. And their goal is not to destroy governments, but destroy living, breathing men and women on the ground, strong cultures, and destroy them.
This is a good question, and all three of you could weigh in on this one. I think I already know the answer, but I'm interested to hear what you guys think of this as well. How do you suspect they will try to get us to connect our brains to the internet? I know Nick's got an idea.
I'll let everybody else weigh in. And
all right. Fair enough. Brandon, what do you think?
I think it's going to come connected to your money, to your mammon. Without a doubt, they're already predictively programming us with the Fitbits and the iPhone watches and everything else. The scan passes at your it's slowly progressing that way, and I truly believe that the digitization of all reality. And I just always want to say this. Remember, digital is information without life. We are information with life. That is the difference between the two kingdoms. It's very imperative to recognize that. And what we're going to have to go back to is back to basics, learning how to fend for ourselves, build, cook, catch, and all these things to go through this period, because there's no stopping it. The snowball's rolling downhill. We're here now. What we care about now is gathering up more brothers and sisters and bringing them back to the truth, and then you can start worrying about solving things. And the very first place you start solving something is within your family. Take back your children's mind. Don't give it to them.
Ark?
Yep. Yeah, they're not going to force anybody to do anything. You know, they always show it in the movies that they force all this stuff on top of people. It's all going to be done through incentive. You know, they'll provide incentives so people will have some sort of like discount, you know, some sort of club disc. It's just like what's happening in China. You look at this system where they're literally, judging people in a system of like a point system, and basically the people at the top are all for it. It's all, if they're doing good and they offer all these incentives, you get to go to all these places, have all this extra stuff. It's only the people at the bottom, the bad guys, that have anything to worry about. So that's how it's going to be eventually portrayed, is all the bad guys are the ones that don't get their vaccines. All the bad guys don't get their flu shots. All the bad guys believe in conspiracies. All the bad guys, XYZ, they'll fill in the blanks, and it's just slowly chipping away at our liberties and our rights, and people will gladly give them away through the scare tactics they provide. If you think your world's going to end in 12 years, it's just the Hegelian dialectic, create the problem so they can provide the fake solution, and it's just order out of chaos right in our face.
I like it, Ark.
Yep.
Indeed. Nick, you're up.
It's going to be long. So
Have it. Mike, all yours. We're dying to hear it. How about this?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about this.
Spotlight's on you, brother.
I totally agree. The next step has to be through the money, incentives. I am so glad. This is why I like being on this panel with this group. Is Satan makes you fall by something you want. He never forces. He never forced Eve to do it. He's never forced. He's not allowed. He's not allowed to.
Yep.
And so that's will be the next stage. What I'm addressing in my video that I'm working on, project Back to Human, is further down the line is the pollution, the chemtrails, the GMO food, everything that is being forced upon us or trying to kill us. There will come a time where it will be told to us, in order to save humanity, to save yourself, this is what you need to do to upgrade, to merge. That will be after, I believe, after the money. Look, money that you have in your pocket, a dollar bill and coins, everybody touches it. Germs. You see what I'm saying? We got to do away with that kind of money. We need everything digital, like he said. There's artificial intelligence, and there's real intelligence from God. There's two different kinds of intelligence, and you have to understand which kingdom what falls in the artificial kingdom and the real kingdom. That's it. Technology, I'm not against technology altogether. I'm just using it for where it's going is a bad thing. I'm not against pacemakers in your body that helps the heart pump. That's not what I'm talking about. Or an artificial limb. That's not what I'm talking about. When you start messing with the neural link, consciousness, and all of that. So that's part of where it's going. I agree, is the next step. It has to be, how do you pay? Because we're limited. Most people don't know how to take care of themselves. They don't know how to catch fish. They don't know how to hunt. They don't know how to do anything that you guys have been talking about. That's why you're trying to help them out with the bug out bags. That's got to be the next step, is the money, to be totally digital. And you have to either get on with the program, or you're left behind. And that's where it's going. The RF chip cannot be the mark of the beast. I've heard that for 7 years. If the RFID chip is the mark of the beast, that means when you fall asleep, I could sneak into your house and insert the mark of the beast chip into you, and then you have the mark of the beast. No, it's never forced. Well, I'll go into it in my videos, but it cannot be the RFID chip. It's a step beyond that of what we are.
Yeah.
And I want to share this last thing.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, because the enemy it tells you what he wants. And I just want to share the scripture with you. I think it's in Daniel. But anyway, I'm going to paraphrase this. in Daniel, it tells you he wants to set himself up in the temple of God, declaring himself to be God.
Mhm.
So then you have to ask yourself, where is the temple of God? What did Jesus say? And this is it. 1 Corinthians 3:16 through 18. I'm going to read it. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, he shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. And you got to look at deeper that. Those who destroy the temple of God, and that means if you choose to destroy the temple of God, you're not your own. You need to realize that we are God's if you're a child of God. But that is the biggest mystery to me of deception on the face of the earth. Are people are looking for a temple to be built in Jerusalem, a antichrist to walk inside, and it's an abomination, and it causes desolation in this temple of God. God does not dwell in a physical building. He says in his own words, he does not dwell in a temple made of hands.
That's
So
right.
that is the biggest deception, is you better find out where the temple of God is, and you cannot put anything or merge anything with it. It's not supposed to be done that way. So
That one thing you just said about getting rid of one of the best ways to get rid of the money is because everybody touches it and there's a germ. We were just talking about the Bill Gates funding MIT and Bill Gates backing him, of course, because Bill loves people. He's always trying to help people out, whether he's poking your children with a needle or spraying things in front of the sun so you don't get that pesky sunburn. Bill loves people. They have the invisible ink tattoo that can be read remotely so they can tell if you've gotten your vaccines. Why would they need that unless there was a pandemic? That's the next step. And that ties right into what you just said. That'll do just like they always do. It'll be multifaceted, force everyone, or actually make everybody want a vaccine because nobody wants to get sick, and then get rid of the money. And of course, there'll be incentives. Maybe you get lower taxes. Already, when I pay my phone bill, they charge me $1 convenience tax because I pay with cash.
Yeah.
It's a convenience tax. Hey, you just paid this bill exactly what you do with cash. Awesome. That was convenient. Give us another $1. It's extortion, but it is what it is. So
yeah, we'll administer it ourselves. I mean, the group mentality, the herd mind, the hive mind will help administer and lead people to it. Just on the fact of the ridicule factor, and you have to fit the group mind. You have to fit in the hive mind. So all those things work together. Good breakdown, Nicholson.
yeah, I mean that it's slowly. I mean, people think about this. Back in 2007, what I was talking about, it just blew their mind. Like you said they thought I was crazy, and I'll be honest with you. Most of my
Nick, when you first came out, when you were the Lighthouse channel, what was the name of it?
That was it. Lighting the way out of the dark, and it had like a lighthouse.
Nicholson was taken down before anyone even knew what getting pulled off YouTube was, and he came back as Nicholson 1968.
Yeah, he didn't talk for a long time neither. I remember all the words on the screen.
I used to leave comments going, videos are much better when you don't have to read them. I still do that today.
But the reason I did that in the beginning was I didn't want to show my face, not because I was scared, but I didn't want to show my face, and I didn't want to talk because I know I have a Southern drawl. I wanted them to see the video and the information. I didn't want him to come on and go, okay, it's some white guy, country dude, and turn off. I wanted to go, because a lot of people thought I was African-American. They thought I was a woman, all kinds of stuff. I heard all kinds of crazy stuff. But it wasn't until I did a radio show. I think it was, I think it might've been with KJ, Scariest Movie Ever in the beginning. And the comments were like, man, you need to talk on your videos. And I didn't expect that. I really didn't. I was kind of reluctant, but it was right after that is when I kind of mixed and talked a little bit. And then I finally my first time I ever showed my face was actually on 𝗪𝗓 for Boston.
It was. You were 10 years, brother. 10 years, man. That was badass.
So,
Wow.
and I appreciate everybody sticking with me through all of that. It's funny that you can go back and look at some of my older videos and look at the comments and how bad they were versus the videos I put out now. It's like a lot of positive, and I do appreciate that. And it's not because, I don't think because of me. I think it's what y'all are saying is whether you're a Christian or religious or spiritual, I think everybody understands the technology and how fast it's coming with the flat screen TVs and digital downloads. So even that, and I draw a lot of people to my channel, not just because they want to hear about Jesus. They want to just hear about the technology that, and then it kind of gets them into the religious thing and that, or not religious thing, but the whole thing with the Bible, backing it up.
You know what's crazy about the Southern Drawl boys, seeing how I am from the city. I am from Boston. I am a Yankee. I'm an asshole with a laptop. But two of my favorite people have Southern Drawls, and they're in the chat, right? Well, you're right there.
Appreciate that.
Funny thing is the same thing that happens to me and Nick. We used to Skype each other a lot when Nick was really active and had a little more free time. And every time we would hit each other up, we were both trying to tell each other about the exact same thing. Remember scrying mirrors?
Oh,
John D?
yes, John D. I was working on something.
Hey, dude. The scrying mirrors, the digital televisions, the frequencies. Well, me and Brandon do it all the time. It's a trip, man. It's something about these Southern boys.
God seeks man.
You know,
That's,
art,
that's God seeking you. That's God seeks man. You know, that's God seeking you guys out. Literally giving you information at the same time. Like,
well, I gotta do a shout out to Art too. This is what's weird. I was working on a show called Artificial Intelligence, the Obsolete Man. Art was working on a song, Obsolete Man.
yeah,
I'm not kidding you. And he sent to me Obsolete Man and then Shift Your Paradigm. He sent me 2 songs. He said, hey, if you want, could you put a video of this? He had no idea what I was working on.
yeah.
And I mean, it just, and I'm going to re-release Obsolete Man, just the video song. I've kind of put some HD behind it or whatever. I'm just going to release just that video that I put in, for you. Art. It's good lyrics. Appreciate
Beautiful.
you.
Beautiful. I appreciate
Let me
you, man.
switch gears real quick because I don't want to forget about this. One of my subscribers sent me this earlier. I tried to do a screenshot of it and I couldn't, but I figured out a way. I made a 1-minute video. I'm going to show this just in case it's accurate, but this is a screenshot. So let me read this to you real quick. I'm going to blow this up so you can see it. I asked her to send me the actual link or anything, but this is showing the Commonwealth of Virginia shall convey 65 acres of property consisting of Clark County tax map number 727, a new parcel situated in the Greenway Magisterial District of Clark County to blah, 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 blah. On behalf of the VIP shall collaborate with representatives of Clark County to promote the use of land for economic development. Included in this appropriation is $250,000 for the first year for the general fund, estimated blah, 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 blah. Allow the removal of firearms from persons who pose substantial risk to themselves or others. Prohibit the sales, possession, transport of firearms, triggers, and silencers. Increase the penalty, blah, blah, blah. Require background checks for all firearms. This just came out today. I can't prove that it's accurate, but I'm showing it because I know Brandon knows this crap, and I can see that he's on it right now. What do you make of this, dude?
All right, so they're appropriating public lands right offhand. Let me keep reading this, and
That's as big as I can make it, Brandon.
huh?
That's as big as I can make it, brother.
That's okay. It's so what you have here is looking like a land theft to me. The way I'm reading it right now, I'd love to see it bigger and start breaking down these words. And I'd like to see who this Virginia Port Authority is. Of course, that. Remember, folks,
the Port Authority, it doesn't fall under the Constitution, correct?
That's right. That's outside. That's Admiralty law. And so you have, remember, everything on the water. So your Virginia inland port, this is all maritime jurisdiction. So if what I'm reading there is correct, they're saying they're moving public facilities, which is your prison systems, and for that they're going to make pretty much bounties to remove from those areas the living men and women. So
Wow.
we just have to get to this point where we recognize, and of course, remember, folks, that's why language is so important, right? They keep talking about persons. They have the right to remove persons because that is the creature of the state. That's the creature of statute. And until we quit identifying with that persona and take our masks back off and become living, breathing men and women, we're going to have these issues because this always transpires, right? It correlates because we keep asking for protection from them. Like Art said earlier, he hit the nail right on the head. The devil comes bearing gifts for you, right? And those gifts really aren't gifts. That's consent to the contract. He's always looking for that signature on the dotted line. So these things, that's very, I'd like to find out if that's true or not. Send that to me, Richie, and I will. I just got a little bit more. But what we're seeing there is maritime law. That's the Lex Mercatorial. We know the port authorities, the TWIC, and all this stuff that they bring in. These are separate jurisdictions, and we know for a fact that they're operating under admiralty law. And of course, that's why admiralty is the ability to punish both civilly and criminally at the same time. That's why that when we go to traffic court, they can administer criminal aspects to it because we're under maritime law, where in the common law jurisdiction you couldn't.
I got you. I wanted to put that out there for anybody that happens to live in Virginia. They are making moves, it would appear, even though you already knew that. But they're making moves all over the chessboard all at once. I mean, burn down the West Coast, burn down the Amazon, and now they are just burning down Australia. You read about, dude, all the exotic animals, trees, and the people have nowhere to go because everything else is already desert. You know, the trees are all on the outside. The middle is mostly desert. They're destroying that place. And then they stole the water from the people, speaking about the beast from the sea. They're literally stealing the water right in front of the people. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing. Max Egan has been knocking it out of the park lately. So
he has. And, you know, I would advise people, just because you might think a little bit differently than Max Egan, I would say we are still supporting these men and women, these
without a doubt.
We are going to support those folks, and I'm supporting Max right now too at the Crow House. For people that don't know, I listen to his episodes every week. I'm keeping up with what's going on in Australia because it happens all around the world with the mega weather events. It's happened here in our hometown 3 times. It happens everywhere. This is the weather warfare is the way of the future to get people off the land.
All I ever talk about. I hear you. You want to talk about
on the government.
You want to talk about timing. This popped in my email right before I pulled you guys in here. This is from Futurism Magazine, and this is the latest word as of a few minutes ago. ARC. The future is aliens. There's no two ways about it. And then they got a big story from an astronaut from Britain who was up there that said, obviously there's aliens. So this is another new thing. Nick, last time we spoke, it wasn't as predominant as it is now. But dude, how many non-disclosure agreements do you think you have to sign when you're in the military, when the men in black come and see you and all this other stuff? And then suddenly you're in a documentary on YouTube and there's everybody's, the airport, the Pentagon, the military, everyone's come out. Aliens are everywhere. They're all over the place. No big deal. Come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, it is so out of control of, you know, I've always said this, if you don't believe in a creator, an ultimate creator, this is where you go down all the other roads.
Exactly.
I mean, if you do not believe in a ultimate creator, you're going to go down a whole bunch of different roads. And I have people that I know still that believe that aliens exist, and they don't want to believe in demonic interdimensional beings. They don't want to believe, you know, I just put out the information, and, you know, either people come see it or they don't. I mean, this is what I was going to ask you, everybody on this and in the chat room. is when I started, there was 3 levels, sort of. It was like people that were totally asleep, or people kind of on the fence, and there were people that were waking up and awake. Now, fast forward 2020 here, it's like totally asleep or awake. There's no in the middle anymore.
There's no in between anymore. There's no in between anymore. And sadly, go ahead, Art.
Yeah, actually, it's crazy. I'm making a song about that, like that literally speak that our world is becoming black and white, and that we'll be without excuse in the end. And I think that's almost, it's God's mercy in a way, and his grace allowing people to see these things. Hey, look, it's right in front of your eyes. How can you not see it? You know, this is all externalized for everyone to see. There's no doubt about it anymore. And so it's like, you know, if you don't pick one side or the other, you can't straddle the fence anymore. You can't just sit on the fence.
They even resurrected Bob Lazar, the guy that was at Area 51. He saw it all. He touched us. He touched a UFO, and then went on there and said, "Well, the military arrested me, but then they let me go because they didn't know what to do with me." That's not accurate. The military knows exactly. Oh, you saw a UFO on a military base? Kapow! That's it. Gone. Gone.
Yeah, and put him on Joe Rogan. That's all you need.
Yeah, exactly.
And
put him on Joe Rogan. He's like the Oprah of for men, you know.
Yeah,
and that's all you need.
People just guzzle it right down, man. Joe Rogan was on the right track, and then he just said, you know, they said, "Joe, do you want to have to build a Land Cruiser in your driveway like Richie from Boston, or you want $250,000 one built for you?" Well, we went to the moon. Aliens are real, and we need you to have Bob Lazar on and tell people to do DMT. And he said, "You bet." Yeah. You bet.
Well, I want to also show how with language they show you the truth, right? In that little article that you pulled up, it said there's no two ways about it. Aliens exist, right? And then it says
no two ways about it, Sib.
Yeah. So 𝗪𝗏 doesn't claim to have seen any extraterrestrial life, but the original comment is true. And the reason why I'm gonna quantify that, because an alien is a foreigner, one born in, belonging to another country, one who is not a denizen or entitled to the privileges of a citizen. So they're 100% correct that aliens do exist, because we are foreign to this operating system, right? The language that they use today in this world, we are unable to put a lien on. So we're alien, and that's because we have life within us and not agree to the terms of the dead things. It's weird when I see these comments. It's a truth hidden right in plain sight when you start understanding the language that's being used there. And of course, the delusional and those without delusional thinking are inside the delusional thinking are going to go straight to the next deal, where he even tells you, "I've never seen anything from space, but what if? Let's go to imaginary land."
Yeah. Oh, they've got to lay the alien foundation, though. I mean, that's like key, because they're going to, these people are looking for outside information, and they're not going to believe that it's ghosts or, dead people. They've got to have something bigger, better, more that aligns with technology, that aligns with our belief system of today. I mean, that's why they had to lay the lie of evolution and all these other lies, is because they had to eventually get us to the point where we believe in aliens, that they're these hyper intelligent beings out there far, far away who are going to have this information that's going to help us evolve and all become one and come together. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Check this out. Check this out. Jamie Sutton just posed a good comment. Everyone should own a telescope. Well, I'm 52. I have since I was 9. All the technology that is available, it's absolutely ridiculous and unbelievable. The only thing that hasn't changed is telescopes. They don't get any better. We can't get really good ones. Some people are figuring out the infrared and the other ones, and they're launching them in hot air balloons, and they're showing that it sees right through the clouds. It gets it all out of the way. You can see the sun and the moon, very local. You can see the incredibly flat horizon, and they show all the telemetry data. But to answer that, telescopes, they're absolutely incredibly expensive. You're better off with a Nikon P900, because the P1000 sucks, in my opinion. They must have called up Nikon and said, "Hey guys, you just really effed us in the A with that P900 thing. Make the next one bigger, crappier, and make sure it doesn't focus." And they went, "We'll do."
Gotcha.
So that happened. So where's the other one? Edward Hendry. He wrote a couple. He wrote the sphere of influence. I've had him on a couple times, and he wrote The Greatest Lie on Earth about flat Earth. He's a mainstream guy that completely figured it out. And he sent me this picture earlier today in an email. I'm going to show this to you guys, and people are going to buy this up. They're going to eat this up like no big deal, and it's right there in front of their face. Here's NASA. This is JPL, Jack Parsons, Aleister Crowley, L. Ron Hubbard, blah, blah, blah. Because everybody involved with NASA was either a Nazi scientist or a severe black magic occultist. But today they're presenting us with the other Earth that all the elites are going to go to, and you can probably go to too if you get the mark of the beast. But it clearly says right on it that it is an artist's conception. But they're telling us it was taken with a super secret, awesome telescope that can see 700 million miles away. But they're still doing it. Here's another one. Notice there's no chemtrails. And I bet you if you look close at the clouds, the word sex will be in there over and over or something crazy like that. But these guys don't stop. They don't stop. They don't seem to care that. Well, I shouldn't say they don't seem to care that we figured it out collectively, because they've just censored us and stopped us and done everything they possibly can. Sandy Hook, 9/11, Israel, and flat Earth. You talk about those four things, you're probably going to lose your channel.
If you talk about 𝗏𝗏𝗠𝗧,
Ooh,
whoa, man. My whole website got taken down.
I can attest to this entire story. Nick posted a picture of the little boy that was so unlucky that he died.
Don't say the name of the school.
He died twice. He died at a school shooting, and then he died at a stabbing. Go ahead, Nick.
And all I did was the person who I think it was in Afghanistan, took a picture. Pakistan, that's it. Took a picture. Yeah, all he did was take a picture of all of these kids that they said died in that school over there. Sent me the original pictures, digital, everything. Check the story out. I posted it, and 𝗏𝗏𝗧 actually got my host, I don't know how he figured out who was hosting my website, taken down because of that picture that he didn't own. It was just the picture of his son. And I didn't think you could do that. I mean, it was ridiculous. And actually I had to get my attorney to write a letter to that. And then my website got put back up 3 days later, but
you still had stipulations, right? Like,
yeah, I had stipulations. I couldn't.
That's juice. That's more than Morning Father juice.
The Honor Network. He's still got that. You won't even touch that network. If you even try to even approach it and attack it, they've got so much support. It's unbelievable. That's the strongest I've seen. Is that right there? Yeah, it was.
But you did it. You know what I mean?
I did it. So the other one is. The most I know, changing the subject, but I was just saying, when I started talking about Morgellons, man, I'm going to tell you something.
Nick, that's when I was getting targeted.
Man, I got so much heat just on that information and things I was trying to gather. It was crazy. And I put that out too, but they don't want you talking about Morgellons at all.
At all. And I mean, I already know what Brandon thinks. Ark, I might have asked you this before, but let's rehash this because we don't talk about Morgellons all that often, because between Morgellons and all the holistic doctors that were getting whacked left, right, and center, when I started talking about those two things at the same time, that's when I went through a year and a half of hell every single solitary night. And I was afraid to say anything until Nick finally hit me up personally and said, has anything happened to you? And then we started talking about it. I'm like, you're getting targeted too? He's like, yeah, really? Like they were scaring me so bad. I broke bones in my foot, literally. And I had a witness. I thought it was just losing my mind, which is exactly what you would think when you're getting targeted. Because when something you can't see is messing with you every single day, you start losing it. But I had a witness and she saw it. So at any rate, that's when I started talking about the full armor of God for real. And fortunately, I'm still pretty good right now. I have like little episodes once in a while, but Morgellons, in my opinion, are the lucky ones. Those are the people that are breathing in everything that we're breathing in, except their bodies are rejecting it while we're assimilating it.
Yep, they're rejecting. Yep.
That's what I think. That's what a lot of people that write books about it think. So,
well, yeah, and remember, they're always after the space between the two temples, man. And those people that bodies reject this stuff, and it's for me personally, the way I do it is I take a few supplements that oxidizes the body to start burning up these metals. The oxidation process burns it up. But yeah, I think the Morgellons was something I looked really into. And of course, you can see my elbows. I'm attacked with something that keeps my skin always in this fluctuated state. It is an immune problem.
Sib, you ain't wrong, because they can mess with your skin. I'd have to say 50% of the targeting was some sort of an issue with my skin. It was bad. So yeah, the skin's definitely the epidermal layer. They got an app for that. And
it's it goes through cycles where it's good, where it's bad, and if it's really crazy how these frequencies and everything mess with our body, but also how the metals inside our body react. And of course, that's just part of the process. You know, it's one of those things where they tell us the truth. The truth is in plain sight. I've done that a million times. That you don't even have to go digging very far on the internet to find out what 𝗪𝗪𝗪 is, what aluminum does. I mean, the actual science, what everybody else, the brain dead zombie masses claim about, has been done for years on all this stuff. It's even RF frequency. They knew back in the 40s that RF frequency was a cancer causing. So it's crazy. And it's always about destruction of the temple.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you think of that guy, huh? That's not the same guy from a couple of years ago.
Is
This
that
dude's
Gordon?
been playing with demons.
Is that right? That's Jordy Rose, and it looks not even close to.
No, wow.
He was a young, athletic dude, a little overweight like me, you know what I mean? But he looks beat. He looks hungover. He's been playing on the wrong side of the veil.
Man,
all those people involved with the quantum computers and D-Wave and their offshoot company. What's the offshoot company from D-Wave though? Kindred, yeah. Now
or Legion, your choice.
Yeah, you look into the ladies that they're involved with them. They're literally like witches and stuff. This girl was like an artist who drew the like fallen angels and fairies like years before she got into all this CERN stuff and technology. It's like she's literally drawing in and she says, my whole goal was to make evil look good and good look evil, because there's a lot of misunderstandings there. I mean, you can watch the video of her being like showing her artwork and being I can't remember the gal's name, but she's one of the top gals at the Kindred there.
Yeah, everybody, they've always got some woman, just like DARPA had Regina Dugan. Regina Dugan was the first. Look at this fun, happy, wearable tattoo. The kids will love it. It's great. Look at this. I'm wearing a leather jacket. I have boobs. I look exactly like an alien. And as a matter of fact, Jordy Rose just built me an hour ago. I'm a robot. Who doesn't love that? Unbelievable.
I'll tell you something else I saw the other day just on this subject is I saw a picture of Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys owner. And I mean, it's been 5-6 years since I've watched anything like that. But why do all these old guys start looking like Emperor Palpatine? Every single one of them. I mean, when I look at them, I see Emperor Palpatine.
Joe Biden.
I'm your father.
Yeah. I mean, my goodness, man, they all look the same. Soros, the Rockefellers, I don't care, the Rothschilds. Yeah, I don't care which one it is. They start looking like Palpatine.
Prince Philip. Oh my gosh.
Real quick.
Inhabited by the same demon.
We got 3,200 plus people watching this.
Wow.
And we keep getting the same comment over and over that Iran is bombed. Yeah, we know. But we talked about that right off the bat. Don't believe the hype. Let me just run this by you. I've spoken to some people from Iran that has nothing to do with the mainstream media. I've seen some videos and such like that. The people in Iran would not do that. Because all they had to do was watch a live stream we did last week where we said, watch out, Iran, because here comes war. They know they're going to get wiped off the map. Like, what? This is the same thing it always is. Every single solitary war goes back to a false flag. You know what I mean? Don't believe the hype, but we're aware. We're just not really going to focus on it right now.
Well, remember this too, and for everybody out there focused on this, remember, just to take this back to the basics. Every time a national emergency is instituted in the United States of America, that means martial law is implemented. That means the Constitution is null and void. We're operating under maritime law. This is why you always have the next war. And even when in years that we thought were times of peace, it was the war on drugs. It was the war on this. It's always a war, and that is to throw away the Constitution. And we can understand this because that's why the executive orders are written. That's a bypassing of the constitutional powers and the correct representation of Republican government. But all these things will continue to happen. There will be rumors of wars, and everything else. To pay attention. That you just doesn't mean we go running around crazy. We got to stay in our adult minds, use logic and reason. There's a reason why they are putting it into your mind's eye and showing it to you. We have to figure it out. We don't lose our minds. There's always a hidden agenda. There's always problem, reaction, solution, antithesis, thesis to the synthesis. We know what time we're in. We know we're in the age of Agenda 2021. We know where we're at. Those things there, it's going to continue to get this way. It's going to continue to get worse, and we talk about it all the time. You can't help it with the overall degenerate nature of mankind at this point in time. In reality, it's going to continue to get worse.
Indeed. He was on the USS Nicholson in the Navy. How about that? Hey, Nick, how about that?
Hey, man, glad you were aboard.
I would have said that was my boat.
Richie, you guys, you probably get this question. I get this. This is one of the most asked questions that I get. Is what do we do? What do we do about this? How do we stop it? And this is the thing I'm going to share, and I agree with Big Sib, is you don't stop it. You don't.
There's no turning around the USS Nicholson.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just eight, man.
Yeah. So my thing is this: is they say, "Well, aren't you scared or whatever? Or aren't you this or aren't you that? Why are you not freaking out right now?" And once you realize, look, this has to happen. That's why Jesus Christ has to come back. There's a reason he's coming back to take care of business. That's why it has to go down the road it's going. Now, I'm not saying not do anything, because me in the beginning, when I started in the beginning, I tried to tell everybody, not just on YouTube. I was talking to people in the streets. And yeah. And I got frustrated because they look at you like you got three heads. It was bad enough on YouTube, So here's my thing. I realized something. I pray and say, man, God, is this what you want me to do? I mean, I'm just getting beat up left and right. And here's what you got to do for me is share the information, put it out there. The people that are supposed to see it will see it. Those who are supposed to receive it will receive it. Some may not receive it right in the beginning. They may be like with my channel, 2 years down the road, they come back and they go, Nicholson, I thought you were retarded, but everything you were saying is lining up. But where I was going with my point is what's happening has to happen. If you're a true believer in Christ, you should have no fear that everything works out for the good. And, not to fear it to a certain degree is just be aware of it, that it doesn't what am I looking for here, Richie? Big Sib? Like, be aware of it. It's not that you can change it. Like everybody's going, I ran. Okay, we know. What can I do about it? Nothing. I can just be aware of it. I mean, I can't change it. You know, I can't call them up and go, hey, I could just stop. I mean,
right. There is no stop. Everybody, I'd like to think that everybody that's watching this right now has some grounding in the words in the Bible. And I can't help but notice, but it seems like the Bible knew this was coming before we did. And then here it is.
yeah.
So
you know,
have no fear. And you just said that Yeshua will square this away. 300 people in the chat said the same thing. Again, before the live stream, walking on the beach, I'm looking at the moon through the chemtrails. And for whatever reason, Jesus coming back with a shout kept popping in my head. Like, I don't think things like that normally. I'm not walking around with Bible verses in my head unless there will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. I said a prayer and a star went like that and went out. And I'm standing there going, was that a sign, dude? Like, can you do that again? You know, and he's just shaking his head going, this kid is unbelievable. He prays, I make something happen, and then he goes, hey, did that really happen? Can I get video of that? You know what I mean? Can I put that on YouTube, God? Don't be afraid. But here's what I think on the flip side of that. I don't necessarily want to be captured.
Yeah. I mean,
and every one of us on this thing, a good majority of the people in the chat, we're all on lots of different lists. So if there is going to be a corralling or whatever, don't let them take you. This life is all there is.
Yeah. I know. You know, that's why I did the discussion this weekend about what happens when fear is initiated. There's healthy fear and there's bad fear. The fear that they want us in is where we don't use sound logic and reason, right? The fight or flight response is initiated, and what happens is hysteria. And during that point in time, men and women don't make good decisions. And of course, that's how they usher us in, right? Art spoke about it perfectly earlier when he comes handing the gift and the wanting you to consent. It's always looks like it's a good thing. It's just how the system operates. As long as you're in fear mode, you won't make good decisions.
Indeed. Indeed. Fear is exactly what they try to keep us in all the time. Be aware. Be aware. And every one of you guys have lived through a weather warfare type event where suddenly you can't get to the store, you can't get gasoline, you can't do anything. What are you going to do? Wait for FEMA to show up, or worse, or some agency we didn't, because they love to roll out new agencies during events. They love
I tell you what, FEMA tried to charge us here to launch our boats and things of that nature, man. Go
Cajun Army, right? Cajun Navy, right above you.
Right. It's we're not having that here. Not yet, anyway.
Indeed. Fear is something that every other culture before America, death was something these people got prepared for. Like, I'm going to be dying soon. Let me get ready for this. Make sure all my ducks in a row. In America, everybody wants to take a pill and do this and that to avoid death. And then they're scared to death of dying. No. Like, that was all learned behavior, man. There is no fear from God.
Well, that's the Luciferian agenda right there, is to try to convince people they can live forever. You know? That's what he's always tried to convince people to do, the counterfeit of what God already offers us through eternal life. Satan can't create anything. He just offers a counterfeit, inverts what God already creates. So it's like, you know, everybody's searching for everything that God already offers.
Yeah, that's very interesting. What he said is to live forever another way here. Even you remember the story, Big Sib, I don't know the exact verses, but you ever heard the statement, "Get behind me, Satan," or "Get hence behind me, Satan"? Well, what's very interesting is when Jesus has got his disciples around, he's telling them of the mission that he has to die. And Peter jumps up and says, "No, Lord, I won't let them kill you." Yeah. He says to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan." He calls Peter Satan because it goes back to what Art was saying is, Peter, you don't understand the mission here. I have to die to show you the way to get into the kingdom. I have to die. This is not where you're supposed to be. And see, once you realize that as a human being, this is just part of it. It is the trials, the testing to to get to the next step. And once you realize that, that's brings me comfort. Is I know this is just part of the caterpillar. I'm right now ugly caterpillar, and then I go into the cocoon state, die, become the butterfly. It's just I don't try to become a better caterpillar. I have to become the butterfly, per se. Yep.
Right. And you have the two kingdoms, right? Let's discuss those. They're very easily discernible. The Luciferian apotheosis kingdom is really about selfish love. It's pride, ego. It's the pride of life, the lust of the eyes and the lust of the flesh. And of course, this is easily obtainable through any one of their talking heads like LaVey or the Kabbalistic doctrine or whatever, or Aleister Crowley's "Do What Thou Wilt Shall Be the Whole of the Law," and their 𝗪𝗓, which is love and a gate, right? But it's selfish love, where the exact opposite is the kingdom of the Father, the heavenly kingdom, which is selfless love. It's the picking up your cross, which would have been the Greek word stauros, which held a lot more spiritual meaning there. It was the denial of self. It was pure love, which is pure religion, right? The pure religion, undefiled, untainted, unvitiated by man, is what real religion is selfless love and charity towards your neighbor. And that's really the separation between the two kingdoms. It can be broken down to that simple allegory or metaphor right there. But really, when you start separating everything from that viewpoint, you recognize the paradox. Okay, so the paradox is, when I was evil, I destroyed my temple, even though I wanted to live forever in that temple. Okay. Yep. Now the opposite is, I can die today and I don't mind, but I take care of my temple. And these are those paradoxes that happen within us. But it is true what each one of you said.
Yeah, I mean, it always goes back to the original sin. And I'm like,
oh shit!
Oh man,
he's back.
He's back.
Doc, you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Dude, I tried to blow you up and I hit the button and removed you. My bad, Doc.
Finish your thought.
Good thing I only said "oh shit," because I thought I killed the live stream. My bad. Go ahead, brother.
I was just gonna say, it always goes back to the original sin. It's like, ye shall be as gods. If you eat of this fruit, ye shall be as gods. That's Satan's, Lucifer's scam every single time. And what we do, but God offers eternal life, that we will be like Christ. So we will be like Christ, but that doesn't mean we are going to be it. We are God ourselves, and we can just do whatever we want. And that's the twist. That's the inverted twist that Satan puts on in every, false religion out there. Every mystery school, every, occult doctrine has that same foundation. The ye shall be as gods, and somewhere or another twist of even evolution. The idea that we're getting bigger and better and better. So someday we're going to be gods. We're going to be, enlightened and just turn into light beings. It's like, yeah, if you're saved through Christ, we will have bodies of light, but here Satan inverts the whole thing.
Indeed. Are you done?
Yep.
Because I just want to ask a question before I forget, because all of you guys have spoken to me off the air, and I will forget what I'm saying as I'm saying it. That's the struggle is real. Speaking about what Ark just said, living another way, living eternal, what they're doing. Nick, when you started talking about this, everybody was like, yeah, that dude's a wacko. That's crazy talk. They're going to turn themselves into machines. They're going to upload because it wasn't, we were talking about 9/11. We were talking about false flags and blah, blah, blah. You were like, but that's all just the means to what they're actually really trying to do. Yep. What sent you in that direction? What made you see that?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Because I already know the Roman numerals, the 911. I already know that story, but I've never asked you that personally.
Well, what kind of really started me? Well, the 9/11 thing was, once I saw the loose change. Loose change was the first really thing about 9/11 that really started me thinking of, can I be deceived? I mean, that was the first time in my life where I really thought, whoa, man, the mainstream media is lying to me
on an epic, world-changing scale.
And okay, so that was the first thing, was that 9/11 thing, and I started really looking into things, and that's what really kind of started. But like, I'll be honest with you, I grew up Southern Baptist and was made to go to church Sunday morning, Sunday night in the choir, Wednesday night. I mean, you just name it. I was forced to go, and I didn't like that. I don't like to be forced to do anything. Who does? In a way. So when I got out on my own, I stepped away from the church altogether. And because some of the stuff they were talking about, it didn't actually make sense. I mean, it just really, I mean, just stories and stuff, it just didn't make any sense to me, some of it. And I really started questioning that, and I started studying the Quran, New Age, Mormonism, Buddhism. I mean, I studied every single thing, including biblical, because I wanted to study everything just because I grew up in America.
Yeah, but remember how much flack you got when you first mentioned that, just offhand? Like, I read the Quran. People were like, oh, I thought he was Christian. How could you? You're like, I studied, like, I looked at the entire picture, and then still came to the correct conclusion.
Yeah, and that's So that's where I had to go. I didn't mean to go, but there's something in the Bible. I'm trying to think of the verse right off. I think it's Matthew 3:18, whatever it is. Jesus says something. He says, before you need to come to me like a little child, little children. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand that verse. I'm like, what do you mean? Crawl on my knees, crying like a little child? No, it wasn't later until he showed me. See, a little child, what he wants is a child doesn't know racism. He doesn't know doctrine. He doesn't know anything. He's playing in the sandbox with everybody, just having fun, getting information. So you've got to come to him, because believe me, I'm no holy man or righteous man. I'm like, why are you showing me this stuff? Who am I? I mean, I'm just, just a normal guy. But what I did, this was the one thing that I did, is I came humbly to him, wanting to know the truth. And if that had to put everything in shake my foundation up, say, Big Sid was talking about it, I think y'all have all talked about it, is a lot of people don't want to hear what we have to say because it breaks their foundation up and it scares them. They don't want to keep going. So what I did was I kept going with that. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not what I was taught. So I got into the scripture, and what I said first on the live stream is the Satan tells you what he wants. He wants to sit in the temple of God, declaring himself to be God. So I had to figure out, okay, where's the temple of God? I've always been taught it's going to be over there in Jerusalem, some building or whatever. Then I found the verses, 1 Corinthians 3:16-18, where Jesus says, don't you know you are the temple of God? I'm like, wait a minute. That's where I started making the connection, Richie, was understanding what is the temple of God and what the enemy wants to put and set himself up in. Airways. And Satan is the prince of the air.
Yeah.
And frequencies. It wasn't later until I got to all of that. But that, to answer your question, is learning where the temple of God was and what the enemy is ultimately after. That's what started it. And wanting to know that, and not being arrogant or I know everything, that kind of thing. I just went into it like a little child of just give me the information. One thing that I do, a lot of people say, why does it take you so long? There's to make a video. There's a lot of different reasons, but another one is I try to wait with information and get it confirmed a different way before I put it out. You know what I mean? I don't want to just put it out just to be putting it out, because I'm messing with stuff that's being shared with me. I don't want to lead anybody astray or,
right.
You know what I mean? So I take my time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a chance. It's a chance I take weekly, Nicholas, and that's one of the things that when I do come up to something that I got wrong, I quickly rectify it. Because really, essentially, what we are all victims of ignorance to some degree or of another, and each stage that we move forward is an experience and knowledge is gained. You look back, and that's how you gauge whether you've moved or not. And we cannot help but be victims of our own ignorance. I do understand your statement there, Nicholson.
I made a video the other day, and I said, you know what's freaking me out is all of a sudden I find myself back out in the woods with cameras making videos on survival stuff, and I don't even know why. And then within a matter of a month, we're at war. It just dawned on me.
Yeah. You know.
I tried to re-enlist in the military on 9/11. I'm standing there. I was high as a kite to boot. But I tried to re-enlist in the military. My wife was like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, somebody just took down the Twin Towers. Like, I've completely hook, line, and sinker, the whole 9 yards. I'm down for this. We're going to war. I didn't see it, and I'm glad I didn't go. They were like, Richie, you've already been convicted of a felony a couple times since last time we met. And I'm like, well, whatever. You guys are racist. You know what I mean? So fortunately, I didn't go, and I'm glad that I didn't, to tell you the truth, because I know a lot of 22 soldiers a day, every single day, are killing themselves. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
And I go back to Ark's comment earlier where he said that as the externalization happens, right? I really think that the intentional leaking of all the information through other gatekeepers and shills and everything else from the 9/11 deal was on purpose to start the separation.
Oh yeah, totally.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So say that again, Tim.
I totally believe that the information leaking from 9/11 and these because most of the companies that released these videos, the Alex Joneses and everybody else, this was an intentional leaking of information. Remember, they have to show you the truth at some point. They are forced to show you the truth.
There was way too much information that could have easily been classified. The fact that they wouldn't show a plane hitting the Pentagon was part of it.
Right.
Was because they could have CGI'd it. Because, I mean, dude, we saw the plane hit the second tower and the nose came through the other. Dude, planes are made of aluminum and a bird can break that nose. We all saw that happen. So,
I was going to tell you this. You're talking about in stages. Back in the day, you could find loose change, that video, all over YouTube. Go try to find it now.
No, I know.
You can't, because most people are waking up. So they block it now. See, but they did their part. They put it out there and showed us. And then as people wake up, they take stuff down. It's weird how it works, but that's how they do it. You know?
Well, and now we're in the process of the complete externalization, right? And it's just we're here, and now you have to make a choice, right? You have to choose, and it's right out there in the open for all of us.
Yep. It's black and white.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, Nicholson, dude, over a decade. Look at how far it's come. And remember, I mean, last time we talked, we were like, when they're ready, they'll simply start pulling the plug left and right. They won't pull everybody down at once. They started out with Alex Jones. He was completely banned. The globalist banned me from YouTube. And then he came on Joe Rogan. He got 10 million views, and he got paid nicely for that. If he was banned from YouTube, Joe Rogan was on YouTube. Believe it or not, they would have just said, Rogan, you can't run that. He's banned. And then Rogan spilled the beans. He said it right. Alex, you were getting ready to take yourself off of YouTube anyways. And he was like, well, globalist though.
I mean, think about this, and you know this, Richie. To this day, have you ever seen a Nicholson 1968 live stream on my channel? No, not one. I can't. I still, to this day. If you go and you look at my latest video, the preview of Back to Human, there's one comment. It's my comment. I can't even, you know how sometimes you can say, don't leave a comment, or you can click off of it. It doesn't even give me that option. So many people have left me comments that I don't even know. I can't even see them myself. YouTube still has it blocked. There's still, and you can look and see on my channel, there's like 350 comments. I'm not seeing them. Who's seeing them? I mean, I wish I could see them. I mean, it's just, they have to contact me through Facebook or some other way. It's just, they still do it and they play the games, and I know that's part of it, and but at least I know I'm doing something right. If they're trying to block me and take me down, I mean, I'm onto something, you know.
That's the thing, is that the followers you have are too, you know, as soon as your channel gets taken down, here's the email to YouTube, get on Twitter, and then you just finally say, fine, put him back up there. Just don't let his channel move. Don't let him see his comments. Don't let him live stream.
Yeah.
Dude, you were the original gangster for getting
Shadow
taken
ban.
down off YouTube. Nobody got taken down off YouTube. It was the Wild West back then, remember?
Yeah, it was one.
It was insane, dude. 𝗪𝗏𝗁𝗘𝗗𝗓. Oh, it was
Oh
up
my
the
God.
hook.
Everybody. I mean, what took me down was I had information that the Pope was going to step down, and nobody believed that because no Pope has really stepped down in so many. I don't even know if, and it was Ratzinger, and I put that out. Had probably 6,000-7,000 subscribers at that time, and it was lighting the way out of the dark. And when that happened, 2 months later, YouTube took it down. That's when things started heating up for me, that people found me at Nicholson 1968. And I didn't want to use the name Illuminati or
Right.
all of that. I just, you know, well, you know the story, but that's what
I do.
got me taken down was the whole thing with the Pope.
Before anybody ever.
Yeah.
And actually, 𝗓𝗏 or whatever that is, apparently you haven't been around because I've been taken down 4 separate times. And then my channel that I just monetized after 7 years. I got convinced to monetize it. I monetized it. No copyright strikes, no guideline strikes. After unsuccessfully taking my channel down 4 times, they just said, unfortunately, your channel isn't eligible for monetization, took it away, and that was that. And yet here I still am making videos, demonetized and all. How do you like them apples?
Did you ever get a YouTube button, Richie?
No, dude. I should have had 3 by now.
I was gonna
No,
say,
I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed.
You're not allowed. Yeah, you're supposed to get one every 100,000 subscribers. Yeah,
Yep.
they've denied you 3 buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Didn't even have any strikes, man. I just got a takedown notice, and they sent me an email, and they're like, "Hi, yeah, you're not in trouble, but your video was flagged and taken down about the Texas shooting hoax." I didn't even. Okay, I don't even know when that was. Which Texas shooting hoax? Which Texas shooting hoax? Like, I don't remember.
I got a copyright strike for just putting up.
I got a copyright strike today. Anytime me and Nick are in the same room, someone's getting a copyright strike.
I got a copyright strike against my own music when I upload it.
Yeah,
Dude, I put up. I asked Ark, "Hey, can I put your song up?" You bet. YouTube copyright strike. I said,
Yeah, just
hi,
ignore
YouTube.
it.
I actually talked to the guy that made this song, and they're like, "Yeah, he's a dick. Don't listen to him. You're still in trouble. So shut up."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get the same message.
That's when I started making music. In the beginning, they were striking me, so I said, "Okay, I'll make my own music," and they're still striking me.
Did you make the intro music for that dude in Australia, Ronnie Dahl's channel? It's an off-road channel because it's. I heard it on your.
Oh, I think he asked for. I think he asked for. He asked for permission, but I didn't make it specifically for him. But it was my music, yeah. Because in the beginning, I didn't understand how to do license my music. I was just making music and I didn't know. So just recently, over the last 3 years, I've been licensing, getting licensed for my music and stuff.
You
like
guys
that.
are.
So,
I mean, you guys are absolute artists. Me and Brandon are just yelling it from the rooftop. You guys put it out there slick.
I think we need a Nicholson 1968 Destiny Lab collabo.
Okay.
Hey, Joe, real quick. I'm not wasting my time, but he has a good point. I don't even know who that dude is, but if he thinks I've never been taken down, he ain't been around very long because I've been taken down. I woke up one day and I didn't exist anymore. You used to type in RF in Google search and it would say Richie from Boston found dead. Right off the bat. Right off. I
remember that. I remember that.
Was gone. Yeah, that was after I made CERN. CERN literally had to answer me. Remember? Oh, that wasn't us. Those were kids. It's like kids inside a nuclear research facility. They just jumped the fence, dressed up in black robes, and pretended or killed a lady, whatever. They finally gave it up. So,
I want to ask you something. Totally changing the subject for.
How about it?
And I hope this is not taking the wrong.
How about it?
Have you noticed this? This is big, and I don't know if you realize something. If I put up a video, I've taken a video and I put Spanish subtitles on it, it stays up. look on YouTube for documentaries that are, the YouTube, look on YouTube for, there's one with the, oh man, what is it? Most documentaries that they won't put up on YouTube, they, like Sound of Silence, I think, got put back up, but it had Spanish subtitles on
That's
it.
what I use. It's the only one I could find.
Ding, 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 ding. I don't know why. I mean, I don't.
Affirmative action algorithms.
I guess so. I mean,
subtitles like closed
I'm
captions?
honestly, I mean, well, no, actually embedded in the video or whatever it is, or over the video. I don't know. But most of the time, if I'm looking for a documentary or I want to see again and I can't find it, if I do find it, it always has Spanish subtitles. And I'm honestly asking anybody in the chat room or whatever, why is that kept up and a regular one without the Spanish subtitles? I don't get it.
Jamie Sutton just answered it. He said the algorithm is English based.
Oh, okay. Then
and Big Skib's up there thinking the same thing I am. Someone's taking a note and sending an email right now. Hey, change the algorithm. Nicholson just blew it up.
Yeah. All right.
Or it's it's affirmative action algorithm. Right. It's just allowing, certain things to get out there.
I guess so, because I've just started noticing that in the last 6 or 7 months. I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. So
well, it's really strange because the song that I used in the video, that was it was subtitles.
Yep.
King, I'm sorry to hear that, but think about if you just jumped in. Your mom's in a better place, man. That's all there is to it. So don't take it as a terrible thing. It's sad, I'm sure, but and a great thumbnail, man. Shroud of Turin is proof, even though they debunked it with carbon dating. At any rate, go ahead, Sib. I know you got something.
No. I don't have anything. I'm
well, you got Nicholson right below you, like Jan Brady. Marsha.
I'm waiting on Alice to come and clean the place up.
I need Alice. You got it right there. You might as well ask him a question. How many times are you going to have him in the same room?
I don't know. I look forward to us being able to do this again. This went very well. It shows the level of maturity in here that each man can allow each other to talk without stepping over them, respect the other men. And this is really what fellowship is really designed after. I've really enjoyed this. I've had a great time with you, Art and Nicholson. I mean, this is what it's about. I really appreciate it. It's with everybody combined gift, this is a wonderful fellowship we have here.
Indeed. Everybody in this chat has helped me exponentially. What the F is that? The algorithms.
I think it's Greg Brady at the front door.
It could be. Marsha was hot. My ex-wife looked just like Marsha Brady, actually.
Oh.
I'm weak, dude. I'm weak. I am. All right.
I'm into Cindy. She's grown up now. No,
she is grown up. She is. She was a tattletale. Remember that back when we were kids? That was television, man. Look at it now.
Oh man, Gilligan's
Island. Why
Island.
are people the way they are? Because it's insane. Me and Sib talked about this before. When you and I were kids, you'd watch a cowboy movie. The guy would shoot the other guy. He'd go like this, and he died. And everybody was good with it. It was dramatic enough. He got shot. He's dead. Now they show you the bullet going through his kidney. They show you just kicking in, etc. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's desensitizing. It's all desensitizing us to the value of life. It's all desensitization and separating you from the importance of life. And we don't realize this, that as our the windows to our soul takes in this garbage, it truly separates us from reality. And that's that illusion that's pulled over our eyes. It really is. I don't watch very much. About the things I usually watch is I love to break down the Kabbalistic doctrine that's in each one of these superhero movies. So I do watch those just so I can break them down. I can promise you, nobody in the world wants to watch that movie with me.
Our number is pegged at 322 right now. You seeing that? 3222. 3,222.
Wow, 322.
Last night after our
Skull
live
and Bones.
stream, it's last night was even worse. After the live stream was over, I'm watching it on the watch screen over here. I'm talking to Sib after we were live, and it went right to it went from my live stream to the Truman Show deleted scenes, and every single number in there was 666 one way or the other. I'm sitting there going, Sib, dude, 666. It was insane.
That's one
It
video.
amazes me the amount of work these guys put into the algorithms to change. Everything goes from Richie from Boston, Nicholson 1968 to Fox News or to anything you were just talking about to the very opposite end.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. It's absolutely amazing. So
welcome to the True Man Show and the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, you remember
monically controlled.
You remember back in the day when we did our videos, when that video got done, it would go to one of your other videos. Now
every time you put it in a playlist,
something opposite now.
Yeah, opposite. Yep.
And then about a year and a half ago, they switched it up so that I would do a video, and then it would go to a video going, Richie from Boston is a woman, a demon, a transgender. Richie's a womanizer, blah, blah, blah.
Well, the only way that you can, and I do want to say this to any of those out there that are having issues with that. Myself, what I went and did is because I like listening to the Psalms or Proverbs at night before I go to bed. I went and made a specific playlist with just my scriptures in there, and that's all it plays because I can turn my TV into black mode and just have that playing in the background. And I just so you know, if you want to do that and listen, I have my earphones in during the day while I'm driving. I set playlists that I like to listen to over and over again. That's how you do get around that issue, because they're not going to redirect us to another good. And it used to be so awesome. I used to just watch a video just to see who it would redirect me to.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
So check this out. I got Nicholson. Do you remember there used to be a video from the 40s from Germany where it was showing how they developed the television as a CERN-like device. The television was invented not for entertainment; it was to try to go to another dimension.
And it got taken off. You can't find it.
It's gone. I can't find anything. But do you remember that, or am I?
I do remember. No, I remember it. I'm trying to think of the name who put it up.
Anything on it anymore.
It was like I used to see it. It was like around in the 2002, but now I haven't seen it in a long time. But no, you're not making it up. I mean, it's not a Mandela effect.
Right. Well, it's funny. It's funny because Sib doesn't necessarily enjoy the Mandela effect, but Nicholson literally had one happen to him.
Yeah.
You want to tell that real quick before the frequency takes us out? That's crazy. That keeps happening. It's a topic.
I didn't want to go down the road of Mandela effect. I did not even.
I know. I made a video.
There's two things that, let me just put the disclosure out there. Not everything's a Mandela effect.
At all.
No, I'm on board with that. It's
at
not
all.
Two things that woke me up to something was going on. Call it what you want, Mandela effect, whatever you want to say. This is going on. I'm a big James Bond fan. Big James Bond. Anybody that knows me personally, I know James Bond, left, right, whatever. I know. And I even made a video. My name is 𝗪𝗓𝗄𝗏. Bond, James Bond. Okay, so
remember that.
Yeah. In Moonraker, there's a part in Moonraker, Jaws, the big giant guy with the metal teeth.
Yeah.
He meets Dolly. And
with
Dolly,
the metal teeth, and
there's a reason why they smiled at each other. There's a reason why that was portrayed of instant, whatever that is between the two. He smiled at her and she smiled at him because of the metal in the mouth. That was the connection. Right. Now, if you watch Moonraker, she doesn't have any braces, which is really strange to me. But here's what's even further, you can take it further, is there's a commercial where Jaws, that character, goes into a credit card commercial. They go into a bank and he goes in, waits in line or whatever. And then the teller, he goes down the line and he gets this teller that finally waits on him. the teller smiles at him and she's got braces.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why there's that commercial, which has not been affected, but it references back to the Moonraker movie that she has no braces anymore. So that was the number one thing. Is like, okay, something's going on. The other thing is I made a video.
Here it is.
Yeah, I made a video based on YouTube, streets that have no name, that kind of beat in that background.
You sent it to me right after it happened.
Yeah. And streets that have no name, no trespass mix. No trespass mix. And I always make a thumbnail. My videos I always kind of usually have a thumbnail that has the name or whatever I'm creating. And in that video, part of the music at the end, I put in the Lord's Prayer, where it says, "Forgive us of our trespasses and those who trespass against us." That's purposely I put in the video to match with my thumbnail and what I title it. So when you go back, and it's still that way, if you go back to that video, it doesn't say that. It says, "Forgive us our debt," or, "Forgive us the debtors and debts." I mean, the whole thing changed with my video. So I don't know how to explain it. I just know that it changed. Because,
And you showed me the before and after. That was a trip, because I was already making videos going, it's they're just trying to fool you. Until I found out the tank man didn't get run over by the tank anymore, even though I saw it on television and it was a big deal back when it happened. Now he jumped up on top with a couple of shopping bags now as well.
Yeah, and I know that's hard for people. Don't want to hear that. It changes everything when it comes to scripture. Like, if they can change that, they can change scripture. And I know that's, but I can't help what happened to my video.
Right.
I mean,
see, and for me, because I've only been reading the Bible for 4 years, I can't speak of anything that's changed for me.
Yeah.
But I would, in this particular instance too, for anybody that has an issue with it, well, for one, debt is considered as sin, and what more eye-opening deal is to understand that a debt is a trespass because you're taking another's property.
Yep.
And the slave is the borrower is slave to the lender. So you're never going to hear me discount Supernatural, because that would discount the Father, the Creator, and you're never going to hear me say that. I just have not witnessed it myself.
Yeah.
There's a few of them that I can't explain. I actually know about the Moonraker. There's a few of them I can't explain. I just can't do it.
Yeah. If it didn't happen to me, I probably wouldn't have thought too much about it, but that's the only reason. And, my other thing is say it did happen, or say, I always look behind the purpose of it. Why would you change it from debtors to trespasses? It kind of means the same thing anyway. So big deal. So, I don't know. I can't answer that, and I have not got an answer on that yet.
Here's the thing. Out of everyone that I know, these are the three of the most biblically astute people I know. How'd you like those words, huh? Biblically astute.
Yeah.
Exactly. So check this out.
Can you spell it?
No, not at all. I can't even remember what I just said, so it doesn't make any difference. But the number one, as soon as you said it, the comments already come. God's word cannot be changed. I hear that, but here's the deal. They changed the words in a book, perhaps.
Spoken
but they didn't change the word, because we still remember it was changed. So there it is. His word wasn't changed. They changed the spelling in a book, apparently. Because this 200-year-old Bible I got to debunk the Mandela effect 3 years ago didn't have the word planets in it. It had constellations. And now it says planets. And I can't prove that. But that happened. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I have such a bad memory. I just can't even trust anything, because otherwise everything would be Mandela effect in my case.
Me too.
Well, and see, my issue with it is this. This is my issue. I recognize and understand how neuro-linguistic programming works.
Neuro-linguistics, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and so I recognized how And listen, you'll know this by hypnotists, magicians, and people that work in that area of deception and contrivances, right? Neuro-linguistic programming can lead you to believe something. And listen, man, nothing's more powerful than this right here on this plane. And when you can fool yourself into believing something, it's real. It doesn't. And listen, this is a fact. They don't care. It's just like when they put out all this stuff on the TV. They don't care that 5% of us, 6% of us, 2% of us see the world as it really is. The rest of the masses do not, and that they make that reality, whatever's real in their mind, they make that their reality. And for me, so I recognize this parlor tricks, and the fact that we have gone from analog to digital as an easy manipulation tool, and very easily be able to be backdoored and manipulated. So that's my issue with it. There's some things I can't trust my memory on, like what Art said, and I go, man, this just doesn't make sense to me. But there's a lot of things like the last money bags, and I'm subscribed to money bags just to see things. That's how I'm from the outside, and I look in all the time. That's like the other day he ran a video on, did anybody know about the hurricane on 9/11? Well, yeah, everybody has known about that because they steered it clear away to make sure it happened. But now that's a Mandela effect. And see, these are the kind of things that people forget over time and then misremember. So these things, much bigger things, are it's just like you have to pick what you're gonna go to battle for. And for me, what the Coke can changing doesn't
that's I agree. The candy bar wrappers, chemtrails in 50-year-old movies, digital. That stuff can all be manipulated. They've got crazy black magic voodoo technology, but JFK being in a 6-seater when the JFK Museum still has the 4-seater, like it's the museum about him getting killed. I think they could probably get the accurate car. Well, that's a Mustang GT. Well, we couldn't get a limo, so we just used that. Just pretend JFK was in that, But I don't base my life around it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Honestly, because there's too much stuff happening every hour of every day that you'd never get away from the microphone.
Yeah.
You got to pick your battles. But it was funny that CERN came out with the Mandela thing, but they're also it's social media. They see what affects us, and why not stoke the fire?
They're trying to muddy the waters. Is what's
Without
going on,
Yep.
With all the externalization, like we were talking about earlier, the externalization of the hierarchy, what goes along with that, since they know all this stuff is right out in the open, their secrets are no more, that now they've got to muddy the waters with disinformation, and that's what is going on everywhere.
I heard that in a song someplace, dude. They muddy the waters.
Yeah, where'd I get that?
Oh, that's a great song.
Persuading so many without a foundation,
Dude, break it down, man.
But no, it's so true. It's like that's what it's all about, is just basically like when you're out there as a new believer or somebody that's a new researcher or just getting turned on to these things, you go out looking for Nephilim hybrids and Nephilim giants. It's like almost everything out there is fake, and so then you just assume, oh, all that stuff's just fake. And that's what they're wanting to do, is they're wanting to make, discourage anybody who's a new believer or somebody that's on the fence researching any of these topics to somehow feel like it's not real through implanting false information along with it.
Indeed.
Right.
The social media is their best weapon, and they wield it perfectly. They can see, they can adjust, they can do everything on the fly. If too many people are catching up, keep it a drill. Don't make it a live event. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sim got excellent footage that I didn't even see the first 3 times I watched it, where the cops were getting out attending to someone that just got shot when they were actually just dumping blood on them out of packets. You could see it. Didn't you get hit by YouTube the very next day?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like that.
They don't like when I mess with their false flags.
No soup for you.
Yeah. I remember, you remember Orlando Pulse?
Yeah.
Remember that one? I'm going to tell you what was obvious about that one was, or any, I'm going to for the future. When you look at any of the footage from the Orlando Pulse shooting, think about this. It was at night. Supposedly there's a guy in here shooting all of these people. They're rushing in there. There is no footage of a helicopter from a helicopter, not one. Now think about it. If it's at night, that's the first thing. If it's real,
just to give them light.
Exactly.
Just to give them light.
And anybody can see if anybody escapes, anything. No helicopter was dispersed in Pulse. That's the first number.
If you remember that entire week, everything, even to the Vatican, had Pulse in it. Every story had Pulse, not that story, but it was just a recurring thing. And think about this too. As far as the helicopters, Florida is where all the Colombian cocaine came in. They had a massive homicide problem, so their police force was jacked. They had choppers, man. You know what I'm saying?
Beyonce's perfume came out 2 months before that. Pulse.
Right. It was nonstop. It just kept. They just kept showing it and showing it and showing it.
Yeah.
And see, that gets back to that neuro-linguistic programming, right?
Neuro-linguistic, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it. Yeah.
I think I had that with spaghetti too.
It's
delicious. Oh, linguine.
Oh, rap song.
Go ahead, Sid.
No, it's just how they do it, right? It's predictively programming you to accept the inevitability, right? And of course, that's part of our programming too, is the hopelessness and helplessness. That we just can't do anything about it. Yeah, you can. Each living man and woman can defy this kingdom of the beast and start living separate, holy. Separate yourself from start separating yourself from it. Your mind should be the first thing that separates, and then the body will follow.
Yeah. People, he is exactly right. People complain about McDonald's food, but then they still eat there or whatever it is. There's little things that you do that you don't feed the beast, that, you separate yourself. You're right, Big Seb. You are totally right.
No fast food. Don't drink out of aluminum cans. Deep fluoridate your water. It's easy enough to do. Just do those things if you have to, and don't eat it if it comes. Hey, kids, you want to have a delicious box of chocolate flavored chemicals? Let me whip it up real quick. It's easy. Let me pop it in the microwave.
If your food's delivered by a clown in a prize, that's your
right.
That's the first signal.
That's part of that mockery too, right? It shows you how we can't see the signs and the symbols right in our face. Clowns are known as hypocrites, right? Why would you eat food from a clown?
Right. Totally true.
Oh man.
All right, we went 2 hours. Nick, where can people find you if you want them to find you? Because I know you're very elusive.
Physically find me, or
no.
Let me give you my address. No,
here's my ID.
You can find me at on YouTube, Nicholson 1968. My website is nicholson1968.com, and you can find everything there. And let me get this out there too: is when you go to nicholson1968.com, you're not going to only find my stuff.
No.
I share other people's stuff that I think is, on chemtrails to conspiracies that are not conspiracies, all kinds of things on there. I share good information on there as well. I probably do more information on everybody else than
you always have.
Yep.
So
I agree with that.
All right, Ark.
Great stuff. Yep. DestinyLab.com is my website. And if you guys haven't checked out the videos on my YouTube.com/Destiny Lab, please check that out and subscribe to my YouTube. The videos I have on there, I have probably close to 50 videos that are really, really good to wake people up, to kind of be that link in the chain. And music is a spiritual thing. Music spiritually speaks to people, and it can knock down obstacles that, where you're trying to be telling somebody something for years. We have great visuals with the music and everything. So check it out there. We just released our a new song, Unseen Zones. It's a 2020 remix, and it's available as a free download. No strings attached. Go to destinylab.com and you can get it as a free download. Right now, just look under the singles section, and it's totally for free.
And check this out. Like I said in the video I put up before the live stream, even if the music isn't your cup of tea, think about people in your family that music would they would love it, because it sounds like they're listening to Cypress Hill until you realize they're talking about Noah and the Giants. You know what I'm saying? And he's not, and he's dead nuts accurate in my opinion.
Don't be ignorant and use every tool at your disposal, folks. We've talked about this. We just talked about this again, and I just want to make this point. Every man is gifted to a different talent. Every member and body of the total makeup of the bride has a different gift. And don't you go worrying about your brother if he's gifted at 30. If you're gifted at 200, he's gifted at 100. Use all the gifts and
Your mic's effing up.
I don't know what's wrong with my mic.
You're perfect right now. Whatever you just did when you moved
forward, I didn't do anything.
Move forward a little bit. Move forward.
Yeah, it was perfect. You just sounded like it was in your pants.
Wow. Okay.
I have a microphone in my pants. Hey, what do you got? A microphone in your pants? You're just happy to be here.
Is that what it's been? Oh man, it's because we're too far away. I'm sorry about that, guys.
So, all right, gentlemen.
I got to say one thing.
Have at it, man.
Out of all of the years, the best tune that I have to say, Shift Your Paradigm totally just made the hair stand up when I heard you've got to hear the lyrics to Shift. To me, that was the best tune. Oh my gosh. I mean,
if you guys don't know it, Nicholson made the video for Shift Your Paradigm. So look up Shift Your Paradigm by Destiny Lab and watch the video.
Yeah, I had to do that because once I heard the tune, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to do the video for this. And he allowed me to do that, so I appreciate it. But man, great lyrics.
It's phenomenal. It was like a small movie. You know what I mean? When it was over, like, oh, come on. Hey, check this out. For the guy that it was just F-bombing away, I pray that I can stop cursing or swearing, but I grew up talking like that. So it's really difficult at my advanced age to break that. But I'll tell you what, if I'm in a chat with 3,000 plus people that I know are probably Christians, I'm not typing, what the F and F this and F that. That's how you get blocked. And especially when you're going, who the F banned me and whatnot while I'm reading your comment. So don't be a dick. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? Well, I shouldn't say it's easy, but just don't be a dick. At any rate. Yeah. Gentlemen, it has been absolutely, totally epic, man. Epic. Yeah. So
absolutely. Let's do it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe next time my camera will work.
It's all good. It's all good, man.
Yep.
I'm surprised we made it 2 hours with just a little bit of frequency and we lost the camera. So we'll see whose channel's gone tomorrow. We missed absolutely everything you're not supposed to talk about. So we pretty much covered the bases.
Well, as long as 𝗪𝗓 decides to just leave me alone now that I'm off Twitter, I sure hope so.
Imagine that. They put him right on a hate speech. They put his whole life out there. He hates Jews. It's like, yeah, you could say that, I guess, but it's not accurate.
It's not accurate.
I'm simply showing information.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like Alex the Chinacons run Hollywood and the Muslim Brotherhood runs the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, and ChinaCom's coming.
That's it.
It's ChinaCom.
The digital. So.
That's it. All right, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you.
It's Brandon the Big Sib, Nicholson 1968, and Art from Destiny's Lab. All the links will be pinned in the comment section. Thank you for your time. You guys are the best. We are out.